Hey everybody, this is Les Stroud. Stay tuned for more bushcraft. Jeremy, down in West Texas. Take it easy, Jeremy.
From the Garage Guru.
Oh yeah, from the Garage Guru.
Hey fellow babies, welcome back, and we're going to kick off another one that's nothing bushcraft related, but let me tell you, man, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be all kinds of burning stinky plastic and smoke, the whole 9 yards. My buddy Haggis McBagpipes is here, so go check out his channel. I'll go stick a description there. You can see us shooting guns and all kinds of other stuff, and he's got some really cool stuff on there as well from the boat drags here. So make sure you take a look at that. Anywho, what we're doing is he has a 2003 Mustang Cobra. And this is the panel on the driver's side that goes around to the back seat. It's broke. We need to fix it because you can't get interior parts for this thing. And even if you could, it'd be retarded expensive. So, you know, couple of DIYers, we'll fix it ourselves. So what we got here, this is the panel that comes around, the seat belt comes down, and then this goes down to the weather stripping along the floor. This broke off. It's a bummer. To do is fuse this on here with a little plastic welding. And the fun thing about this is going to be is if you look here, there's a nice leathery grain on here. So typically when you do plastic welding, you got to hit both sides. So we're going to have to come up with a way to not, because we don't want to screw that up, because part of this is going to show. And there's a smaller crack up here that needs to be repaired as well, that we're going to have to do relatively the same way. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that today. So let's get started with this, shall we? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is essentially the idea. This is my experimental piece because I've never officially done any plastic welding, so he's trusting me with this. God bless his soul. What we've done here is taken a few of these dividers from a fishing tackle box for experimentation. You use this metal mesh, which is used for screen repair. You heat it up and you push it down in the plastic, and then it makes a good reinforcement to join two pieces together. Then you also, I experimented with a little piece of a brass rod and buried it down in there and then melted more plastic on top of that. And this thing, you could probably tow a car with it. You're not breaking that. So I'm going to show you how to put all that together. And what we're going to do is use this, a piece of rod, use some ABS plastic welding rods. Yeah, sticks of plastic, because they call it welding rods. Now they can charge you $5 for it. And our little piece that's going to go on here. Okay, so we got a hot soldering iron handy. And for this kind of deal, you're going to want the paddle style tip on here because it works well when you start flowing plastic over. So let's see here. First thing I want to do is, this was broken because he'd put his hand on it getting out of the vehicle, and it would put stress on here and pop this. So I'm going to use these brass rods and drop them in the corners here for good heavy reinforcement. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So I'm going to have some pliers here to hold this in place right there, and I'm going to start heating it up so that way it'll go down in the plastic. It takes a little while for that heat to transfer. Working on this part, I'll tell you what I did when we first started on this. I cleaned this up with a little acetone to get all the grime and stuff off of here, because you don't want that stuff mixing in your plastics. It will make it good and weak. There. Okay, so that's pretty well stuck in place. We'll lay this across here and push it down in the plastic so that way we can hook the other end on it. So I'm going to do a couple of little tacks here just to get it stuck in the plastic, and as you can see how I'm floating that across. Push it down in the plastic a little bit. See, what we have to be careful of is that we don't go all the way through and warp the top, which in this case from your point of view is the back side of this thing, because we don't want to ruin that grain. There we go. Now we're ready to start working this down in some other locations. I'm using these pliers just to hold it in place. When I heat this, it buries down in there, but it stays molten long enough that it'll pop back up. So let it cool just a bit by holding it down with something cool. Okay, so that's stuck for now. That's a good stopping point, because now we need to take the piece that's going to slip on here. And as you can see here, I ran this out a little far because I really want this reinforced on the corners here, because that's where all the twists and bends are going to be. And I'm going to have to do a little trimming on this. So what I'm going to do here is line this up where I want it. And I'm going to have to drill this out. I know you can't see it from that angle, but right there is where that rod's going to hit. It's just on the inside of that brake. So I want to drill that out a little bit so I can insert this in. Yes, it's going to stick through the other side, but we'll cut that off later, and that'll give it good reinforcement right here on that corner. Alright, so there we go. And these popped off, so I went on ahead and put a little plastic on there to get them in place, so that way I can show you what we're doing here. And it popped off again. Awesome. But I've got to line this crack up, and I can feel it on the back side here. I can feel it where it's nice and flush. So while that's just like that, I'm going to press this piece of screen in here. Now we're pretty well where we want to be. So now we can really start tacking that thing down good. So what you do is you just simply hold your iron on here until the plastic gets good and hot, and you push this mesh down into the plastic, just like so. In most cases you want to try to bury it about halfway down in there, so that way you really get a good reinforcement. And then we're going to go back and put some more plastic over the top. But in this case I don't want to push it too far, because I'm really leery about risking the grain on the front of the thing. So at this point, because we're trying to save that's about as far as I really want to push it. So I'm going to let this cool a little bit, so that way we can hit some other key spots on here and push that screen down there and there a little further, because right now the whole thing is warm, so it's just going to transfer heat over the whole thing and basically undo everything we just did. So we're going to cool it for a minute. I have to push it in once this cools a little bit. So at that point I'm going to go ahead and start working this other side. Some ABS plastic welding rods. Such a stupid name for such a thing, a welding rod, and you always associate that with metal and electricity and fire, not necessarily plastic. Welding rod. So now, since I put that welding rod on there and melted that plastic in, I really want to get that mixed in real good with the gray plastic that we're working in. so that way it doesn't have a tendency to peel off. It's essentially the same thing as when you glue something on an unprepared surface, because you know how you're supposed to take your surface and prepare it a little bit by roughing it up, or else it'll just peel off. In our experimentation before we filmed the video, we tried that and it did just that. So we want to avoid that. So now I'm just burying this screen down in here with plastic, just mixing it all together, and once we get this whole thing covered, this thing is going to be way stronger than it was when it came out of the factory. Pretty slick stuff. So there we go. Get that nice and warm and just start mixing it in there. Okay, since this hasn't been too fun, it will be now. Let's have Haggis take his turn at it. It is his project, by the way. Have fun, Haggis.
Gee, thanks, Rat Rod.
Oh, you know it. Oh man, I'm stepping on the
cord. You're already. So yeah.
Here, let
That would
me.
be entertaining.
You go over here where you were.
Okay, this is actually looking pretty good. See, he's already done most of the work for me, so now I just get to come in at the end and pretend I know what I'm doing. Because that's exactly what I'm doing. Is pretending.
Oh, we've been at this since what, 10:30?
This is a slower process than you might think. But
Well, the pros go a hell of a lot faster than us amateurs.
those pro plastic welders,
Yes.
yes, welding those plastic I-beams and the plastic C-purling.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
For too long, those people will be replaced by machines.
You know, I'd never heard the term plastic welding until very recently. I'm not sure if somebody didn't just make that up.
Well, because technically we're not welding anything. Well, I guess welding is the combining of two materials, but we are sticking something in the middle of it, so it's reinforcement.
This is plastic melting. But I'll tell you what, just what we've done, even what we'd done shortly after we started has already made this thing feel solid.
Definitely.
So
Because even while this is warm, look at that twist.
yeah, it's
That thing's stronger than it was before we even started. So
quite-
before the thing even broke.
yeah. And we did already notice that we warped a little bit on the underside. Not a big deal, but that would be visible. So if you're, working on a show car, you might want to be a little bit more careful. My car is a daily driver, so I'm not really that concerned about it.
And we're budget conscious. We don't want to spend $500 on a panel.
Yeah, if you could even get one.
Yep. Junkyard. We can get a tan one for that. One more spot, and we're going to call this thing good. Let it do a good final cool. I'll show you the end result. I'm not going to show you the other repair we have to do on it. It's just a simple crack. We're going to show you the hard stuff. Alrighty. So we successfully welded that. There's a little boo-boo on it. You can see it right there.
Yeah, that was me.
But you can see how that worked out. There you go. I'm going to clip that little piece of rod off of there here in just a second. But there's still a little work left to do here, a little Dremel work. There's still a little Dremel work to do to get these holes cleaned back out if necessary. But it may not be. But the crack isn't fully flush. But then again, since we didn't want to ruin that finish, Haggis is, when he takes that home, he's going to mix up a little bit of JB Welding, just work it down in there like that with his finger, and then maybe do something about that little boo-boo here. But now that should pretty well do it. From the back side, you can see all the good nastiness there that'll never be seen the day of light very often, hopefully if ever again. Then one thing we did not do on camera is we fixed this crack here too. It's kind of the same way. It'll need a little bit of JB Welding there, but that thing is nice and stout. There's no flex left in it, and we just stuck a little bit of a We stuck a little bit of a screen in there and repaired that as well. So it's in there good enough. This is not going to have any stress. Not worried about making that pretty. And especially being under here, we're definitely not worried about making all that super pretty. But this is definitely going to get the job done. This is way stronger than it was to begin with. Plastic welding. We're plastic welders now. Blue collar, or let's call it baby blue collar, because it's not necessarily super hard work and we didn't sweat a whole lot, but you know, it's good times. Good times. So, special thanks to Haggis for bringing that by and entrusting me with a rarity these days. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys got any questions on that, PM me, please do. Maybe I can get you another video on that for specific questions and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, y'all have a good afternoon. Catch you guys later. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have some good outtakes for this one too.
No doubt.
That'll be good. Cobra Mustang, 2004? 3. I thought it was 2004. My bad.
They're the same thing.
Okay, well there we go. So there's take one. This broke off. It's a bummer. Dang. Heated that up and pushed it down in these plastic and these pieces of plastic. Man. Soylent Greenies people.
I don't know. How's it looking? Have I messed it up good yet?
Yeah, you burnt through over here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, cool. So,
all right.
let's see. We're gonna pause for the cause.